Hey, it's Laura with Following the Paper Trail, and I have a really quick little journal slash signature slash album thing to show you. It's a fun, quick, easy binding that can be temporary. You can remove pages, leave the pages in too, but it's a way that you can do a quick binding that's super fun. I did this for my 100-day project photo journal that I'm making. These are signatures that I have in pockets in each section. And there are two different styles using these little nifty binder clips. Make sure I'm on camera here. These little binder clips you get at the office supply store. In addition to that, you're going to use some, I'm not really sure what they're called, some folder clips. And these go through punch holes like in a file folder. They punch the holes in the papers, slide the papers down, then this goes over the top, the prongs fold down, and it holds the papers into a file. I like using them for different kinds of bindings as well. As many of you who know me for a while know, I'm into bindings. Again, I'm using these in my 100-day project. I have two versions. One where these little binding units are on the outside. I've used the cool colors that you can get the binding clips in. So I wanted them to show pages inside. Excuse me. This one I put a cover on where I've just have my pages and then the cover. An alternative to that is you can have the cover be to the outside and your little binding clip guy is on the inside. So let me show you real quick how this all works, and you can decide which method that you want to use. First off, you need your pages. I'm using folded over pages. They don't have to be folded pages. They can be individual pages. You don't have to nest them. I've just stacked them up. Here I've got 6 sheets, so that'll give me 12 pages. Again, they can be individual or folded. They don't need to nest. So, and again, they can be any size you want. The one thing you will want to do is, because this is kind of a matchbook style of binding, is I have gone ahead and scored them about 3/8 of an inch over from the edge. That's what works for the size binding clips that I use. The depth of this is right around 3/8 to 1/2 an inch. So I'd want that same depth, 3/8 to 1/2 an inch, to that score line. If you're using a larger clip or a smaller clip, you may need to adjust that dimension for your clips. So to do the ones on the outside, I'm going to assemble 2 of these units. To do that, I've got the part of the folder binder unit. It's kind of a U shape. It's got 2 little flanges here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part, and it's got a concave and a convex. So the side with concave, or the little ditch, is going to be up when you connect the 2 of these together. It's got 2 little slider thingies as well to hold these down once they fold over. So I'm going to fold one over, but before I slide that in place, I'm going to take one of my binder clips, that flat side. I'm going to slide it down to the very end, and then I'm going to slide this clip over the top. I'll do the same down on the other end, fold it down, slide my binder clip over, get it centered, and then slide my little slider doohickey down. So then it's going to look like this. 2 binder clips hooked onto the little binder, folder binder. So then what I can do is take these, fold the loops of the binder clips back on themselves, on both of them. I can then squeeze them both. If it's hard to squeeze them both at the same time, you can do them one at a time, or you can get somebody to help. Now I've slid this back so it's just shy of that fold and not going over the fold, so that my page is bent backwards. I'm going to place this one about the same place. Again, just be a little short. And there we go. So the pages now will open up. You can use this as an art journal, album. These pages could be anything. They don't have to be just plain. They could be folded and flapped and all that kind of good stuff. Now, we don't want these loops on here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the loops off. And we pull them off of both sides, but that leaves it nice and clean. Also, then they can't get accidentally squeezed. And I don't have, you know, the pages stay in there nice and secure. I'm going to leave the loops in because I'm going to take these off because I need to use these pages to show you the other one. If you want to be able to remove pages in the future, I do recommend you hang on to these little loops, put them in a little Ziploc bag, put them someplace where you know where they are, because what you can then do is squeeze these, take them off, and if you needed to change the order of your pages, that sort of, maybe you're making this a journal for a baby and you have, you know, 6 of these, so it's a page for each month, and you need to pull a page out to do something on it, whether you're doing some sort of collage or mixed media or something like that. So if you need to be able to remove the pages, this is a nifty way of doing it. Now, if I want to do where it has a separate cover, what I've done here is I've used a hanging file folder. I love the green or the dull red that these come in, but you can't find file folders that color, and I have a hard time finding the paper. So I like to use these. These are some old ones that have been faded at the edge. What I've done is this is folded over around the metal thing with the hooks on each end so the file hangs. So I pull that back, pull the metal hanger hooks out, because I like how this looks with these little slits in it. So fold that back. It makes a great cover. What I've got here is 2 pieces, 2 cut separately from different parts of the file folder. There's a cut edge right here, and on the other side a cut edge. What I've done is I've taken the depth of whatever my page is, it can be anything you want, and I've added an inch to that, and that's going to allow for the binding and allow for some overhang. You can adjust dimensions as you wish, but you can start out with that as a rule of thumb. So my page is 6 inches wide. This is where the edge of the cut is. So I've cut this piece 7 inches wide. I add a little at the top and the bottom. You can add as much or as little as you want on that. So an inch wider than the width of my page. I layered these up so that, and they're scored at 3/8 of an inch, because the width of my little binder clips is around 3/8 of an inch. The width of this guy is around 3/8 of an inch. So I want it to be a little bit larger than the 3/8 of an inch. But what I've done is I've overlapped those 2 pieces. So this is a double thickness at the spine. So when I fold it, as you can see, then it creates a nice little spine. So on the inside, I'm going to open this up. I've already slit these to be able to add my binding clips in there. But what I've done is the hole is for the spacing that I decided on, and it's very arbitrary. You can decide how you want your spacing to be. I've come an inch in to the center of the hole. What I've done is then I've drawn where those holes are on each of these little binder guys. And then I just made a slit. You don't have to punch a hole. I've just slit the width of that hole opening, because these little guys slide down through that opening. It doesn't need to be a hole because this is just flat metal. So from the outside, I'm going to slip these down through those little slits. Keeps it nice and clean. You don't need that hole. You just need that little slit for that to slip through. All right. Now, just like we did with these clips, we're going to do the same sort of thing. We're going to take our little pieces with the little holes in them, slide them down over the top, fold over the one side, put our little binder clip down in there, take it all the way to the very end, and slide our little slider guy. Now, I've not had any problems with these little slider guys moving, but that's something that if you have an issue with it or you just want some added security, you can always drop a little bit of glue underneath that slider to make sure he doesn't come undone. slide that over that. So there's one, just like, looks just like this. Whoops, looks just like one of these. It's just attached now to my cover. Same thing here. Fold that down, slide that over. That little slider thing. Let me hold it up to the camera so you can see it. See this little guy? This how this slides back and forth. And you just want it to slide over the top of that little tab. That's the word I was looking for, these little metal tab guys. So instead of those things holding the papers, it's holding our binder clips. All right, so then we can fold these back on themselves. Now, I wanted to make sure my spine too was wide enough that it could fold back on itself so that these guys can clip open like so. All right, so then I can take my pages. Has a little fold there. Stack them up nice and tidy. Line them up nicely, and then I can just take and slide these puppies. Gotta catch it right at the right spot. The first one's always the hardest. There we go. Once you get the one in, then the others seem to slide in easier. It is easier with no more than 6 to 8 pages. You start getting more pages than that. You need to open all 4 of them at once. You can stick your ruler on there and slide this down. Center it. Okay, then I just want to pull it back so that they're not over my fold. And I've got it centered, so quick and easy. So just like we did on the other one, once you have them in the place you want them to be, you can pop your little wires off on both sides. Hang on to your wires if you ever want to take a page and switch it out. And then your cover folds back on itself. And you have a nifty little journal where you can do collage, mixed media, photos, whatever you want to put inside of it, a writing journal. It looks kind of fun, especially when you're using these cool color ones. You can find the black ones easy. Sometimes you can find these fun colors. On this back where you've got these little metal things on the spine, you can just put a little strip of washi tape or pattern paper or even paint to cover over where this says Office Depot. It probably says either Office Depot or Staples. So you can go ahead and cover that. Same thing on these ones where they're exposed. You can cover over those. On this cover too, rather than the 3/8 from the fold, I just made this a quarter so that my folded edge of my pages showed. That was just for show more than anything, but it kind of gave a different look rather than making it the full size. But anyway, fun, quick, easy, and you can make it any size you want. So any questions, you can drop me an email at laura@lauradenisondesigns.com. If you want to see more of what I'm doing with my 100-day project, you can pop on over to Instagram at Laura D. Denison. Denison's with one N. Drop me a follow while you're there and keep track for the next 69 days of what I'm going to be doing on my photo journal. So take care and thanks a bunch.